Okay, so let's make a couple corrections here. First of all, right after I made that video about this bushing with a line in it, then I remembered what it is. Because I've done a lot of bushings, but none like these, but I've read about them. Anyhow, there's a line in it. Might be hard to see right now. These are self-lubricated powder bushings. They're not real strong, and they're made to be used exactly like this one's being used, intermittently, not tightly on the shaft, a place that can't be lubricated and can't have grease. And what that line has got to be mounted not on the top or the bottom, but on the sides, and that's where it is. It's on one of these ears. Okay, so if you order a new bushing, you can kind of see there's the line there. It has to have that line. If it doesn't have that line, it's not a self-lubricated bushing. And if it's not a self-lubricated bushing, that shaft spinning around, it could seize on it, and then you're gonna have real big problems. So make sure it's the right one and not something off eBay or some aftermarket crap that's a regular bushing. These are made from powdered metal that's compressed together. It has capillary action with oil or some kind of lubricant inside that comes out when they're heated, and then it goes right back inside the metal. And so it is a special bushing. And like I said, the line, when you put it in there, has to be on the sides, not top and up or down. It's got to be on the sides. Okay. There's one more correction. The video I talk about, you have to move the forward reverse lever 90 degrees rearward in order to get it out of the transmission, which is correct. And it talks about it gets hung on a piece of metal, and that's correct also. But in a video before that, it talks about I've lifted it up a couple inches so I can get to the nuts or the bolts that hold that in there, because I can't get the pin out, and I'm forced to take it out of the transmission that way. It talks about I could jack it up another 10 inches. No, you can't, because that same piece of metal we're talking about that hits also hits trying to jack it up. So however high I have it jacked up, maybe an inch or two, that's all you can jack it up. And then you're forced to get that forward reverse lever out of there. And let's go check out the service tool that doesn't exist, that took 6 hours to design and 10.5 hours to print. Here it is. And it works great. It's perfect fit, not too tight that it'll get stuck, not too loose that it's not accurate. And you know, this would just fall down if I didn't have this holding this up here. So this is the clutch, and here's your PTO shock absorber, and here's your pilot bearing. You know, and all of it fits nice and tight. Look at that, no wobble, no wobble. So when we go to put the clutch back in, we put the pilot bearing in the flywheel, and we take this thing and loosely bolt it to the flywheel, and then we stick this in there and we tighten all this up. Then we take our clutch and lightly, easily push it on here, and then we take our pressure plate and lightly put it over and put the bolts in without tightening them up. And then we make sure that this is square with the housing all the way around, and if it is, we tighten everything up. These would have been tightened up already, but then the pressure plate gets tightened up, and now we've got it perfectly square, installed, ready to go, and the tractor should slide like butter. Wouldn't you like to have one of these if you're doing this? They don't exist because New Holland didn't make them, but they're in the service manual.